Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, head mistress of the Budo, where we teach authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai Bujutsu. And for those of you who don't know what that is the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. In today's video, we're going to discuss adding supplemental training programs to your existing martial arts conditioning or martial arts training. So we're going to talk about weight training or resistance training. We're going to talk about cardiovascular conditioning, abdominal and core conditioning. We're going to talk about flexibility training. I'm going to discuss how you can increase your balance with various exercise and drills that you can do. I'm going to briefly go over nutrition and supplements, kind of ways that you can kind of control your weight a little bit through the training, through these different type of exercises and programs. And we're going to go over some basic programs too that you can add to your martial arts training to increase your skills in the martial arts. So today we're just going to have, this is going to be kind of a general overview of many things that you can add to your martial arts training to enhance your martial arts skills through fitness, conditioning, and workouts, okay? I'm even going to go over a couple of basic programs that you can do as well. You can just jot down and you guys can use those as basic starting points, and then you can build from there, okay? It's a beautiful day out today, so I always like to share my thoughts on the martial arts with all of you guys, and because it's such a beautiful day, I thought, well, this is what's on the mind, so this is what we're going to talk about. Now, before we begin, I want to say that if you guys have not seen any of my videos before, again, real quick, I'm Christa Jacobson. I'm the head of the Budo. I do post 2 to 3 videos a week on YouTube, so if you guys are interested in authentic ninjutsu, classical samurai Bujutsu, just Japanese martial arts in general, reality-based self-defense, survival skills, weapons training, concealed carry, obviously, fitness and conditioning and health, and any of that kind of anything to do with just martial arts, right? That's what we do. That's what this channel is focused on. So if you guys are interested in those things, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click the little bell. If you don't click the bell, you are subscribed, but you don't get the notifications when I post the videos. So don't just subscribe, click the bell. That way you guys do get a notification when I post, and you guys can keep up with everything that we're doing, okay? For all of you guys out there watching this video, if you're training in martial arts and you know you want to make yourself better, you know you want to make yourself stronger, you know that you want to make yourself quicker and faster and, better balance, this video is for you. This is a video that I'm trying to help. I don't care what martial arts you do. This is going to be kind of a generic one that'll fit with anybody, that you guys can take these principles and apply it to your program so you can be better. Don't be one of those black belts. Don't want to be one of these black belt instructors that, they scream, dedication, but they can't, or discipline, but they can't stop themselves from eating a double cheese. You know what I'm saying? Don't be one of those black belt masters that says, you got to be tough, you got to be tough. And they're like little fucking little dogs yapping, little chihuahuas, yet they can't even do, 10 push-ups, sit-ups, and squats if they had to. If they had to run out of the house because the house on fire, they have a goddamn heart attack. Don't be one of those black belts. You know what I'm saying? Martial arts is a great, great tool that you can use to help yourself do many things. Self-defense, protection of yourself, the ones you love, helps you gain strength mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Self-defense, martial arts is a great tool for those things. And one way to enhance that is to add an extensive amount of physical training and workouts to your program. Now, here at the Budo, we do that all the damn time. We have physical requirements, and if you can't keep up with the requirements, you're gonna go. That's just all there is to it. But most martial arts schools don't. They'll say that they do that, but they might do 5 or 10 minutes of stretching and a couple little, push-ups, sit-ups, and squats or whatever, or maybe hit a bag for 5 minutes, and that's it. Their conditioning is shit. The majority of martial arts schools, conditioning is shit. So, what can you do to not be like that? What can you do to add to strengthen your skill set in the martial arts? Well, from a beginner perspective, I think that if you were studying the martial arts and you wanted to start out like as a beginner and you want to build on something, I think a 5-day split is wonderful. Most people work 5 days a week and they have 2 days off. If you have a family, I think it's important and I just say this as being a teacher for the many years I have, I think it's important that family spends time with family. So if you're working 5 days a week, and let's say you get 2 days off. For this program that I'm going to talk about here going through, we're going to talk about you work Monday through Friday, you get Saturday, Sunday off. Of course, you want to adjust this to whatever your days of the week or whatever that is for you. But let's say you work 5 days, 2 days off on a normal run. The 5 days that you're working are the days that you want to start doing your workouts. And the reason for that is that way you can actually relax and spend time with the family on Saturday and Sunday. So now sometimes that don't work for everybody, but if you could do that, that's always going to be the best thing to do, because I think that, you know, a little bit of rest and spend that time, quality time with the family, and spend time with your kids and have those moments, I think is a very important aspect, not just to you as a person, but life. I think, you know, family and spending that time with family is important. Workouts are Monday through Friday, and you're going to take Saturday and Sunday off to rest, because that's the day that you spend with family, or you go to church and, you know, you do things like that. So what we want to do is we want to do a split every single day. You want to make sure that you attack something each day that you can focus on, and you want to make sure that all these workouts are less than an hour. So, you know, and all this takes is time for you to get your ass up out of bed 1 hour early, knock it out, and then go on about your day. Everyone's, oh, I need my sleep. You don't need it. You want it. There's a difference. It's like, how bad do you want something? If you want to get in shape, this is what you got to do. That's it. If you don't want to get your ass out of bed, then you just don't want to get your ass out of bed. So you can call yourself multiple different things, but don't forget to add lazy to it. Okay? Get your ass up and get it done. Day one, you always want to start with cardio. And I think that just a 1 mile run is enough. We're talking about a basic, someone who's a beginner to fitness or beginner to workout. Figure out, even if you have to walk the 1 mile, that's fine, but you're going to go 1 mile. If you don't know how to gauge it or something, you might want to drive around the neighborhood and kind of get an idea. 1 mile run to start on Monday. After the cardio, you want the muscles that we're going to work is the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps. And then whatever kata that you have, you'll work your kata following the resistance training. So cardio to start, 1 mile run, walk. After the 1 mile run or walk, which is, think of about 10 to 15 minutes of cardio, then you're going to hit the chest, the shoulders, and triceps. On your main muscle groups, your chest, your back, and your legs, or your quads, you want to make sure that you do 10 sets of that particular muscle group. On your secondary muscle groups, which are like deltoids, triceps, biceps, forearms, calves, that kind of thing, you only need to do 5. So on Monday, if you're going to do chest, shoulders, triceps, you'll do 10 sets on the chest, 5 sets on the shoulders, 5 sets on the triceps. And the reason for that, the reason you do lower, is because you need your shoulders and triceps to help work the chest exercises. That's why you're always going to bring those back a bit. So a lot of people might go to the gym, and let's say you're going to go to the gym, you're going to hit for chest, you might do an incline press, a bench press, and maybe some flies. Well, if you're going to be doing 10 total sets, let's say you do 4 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions on the bench. Well, now you've got 4 sets in, and then you go to the incline press, and you're going to do 3 sets of, 8 to 10 reps. Well, now you're up to 7, and then you can either go to like maybe a chest machine. You can use dumbbells for flies. I'm not going to go. This is kind of a generic video here, but you do another 3 sets. If you're only moving one joint, you want to go 10 to 12 or even 12 to 15 repetitions. So if you're doing flies, generally you're only moving one joint. If you're doing more than one joint, like a bench press, see, I'm moving my shoulders and my triceps, or my shoulders and my elbow. If you're doing more than one joint, those are where you want to kind of decrease the repetition and put a little bit more weight on it. So bicep curls, obviously I'm only moving my elbow. Higher repetition, a little bit less weight. Where multiple joint lifts, even if you're doing combination lifts with legs and upper body, you're using multiple different joints, so you would bring down the repetition and increase the weight. That's a general rule of thumb. It does depend on what exactly you're doing, but I'm throwing that out there. So there's how you get your 10 sets on the chest. Your shoulders, shoulder press. We're only doing 5 sets, so you could actually do 5 sets on just shoulders, on just a shoulder press, and then you could change that up every single week to a different exercise. So let's say you're going to do like a basic shoulder press. You can increase the weight and bring down the repetition for the 5 sets. So let's say you do, set number 1. Your first set is like 15 reps, increase the weight. Set number 2, 12 reps, increase the weight. Set number 3 is 10 reps, increase the weight. Set number 4 is 8 reps, increase the weight. Set number 5 would be 6 reps, and that'll be your last set. I think pyramid training is one of the best things that you can do, especially if you're training on your own as a solo training, because it's a way for you to increase intensity and to be able to control it as well. Because each set, you're kind of going to get a gauge as what it is that you're doing. So day 1, I'm really focused on day 1, because you'll see how as we go through the week, it's almost the same thing. You're just changing a few things out. So day 1, you do your 1 mile run or 10 to 15 minutes of cardio. After your 10 to 15 minutes of cardio, day 1 is going to be chest, shoulders, triceps, 10 sets on the chest, 5 sets on the shoulders, 5 sets on the triceps. Triceps, the same thing. You could do 5 sets of dips, body weight exercise, 5 sets of tricep push down, skull crushers, behind the head press. There's lots of things you can do for your triceps. You could make those, you could do 3 on one, 2 on the other, whatever it is. But 10 sets on the chest, 5 sets on the shoulders, 5 sets on the triceps. Then you're gonna find a space that you can go to. And then at that point, you're gonna work on all the kata that you have that you need to train on for that particular day, right? Day 2, we're now gonna start again, another 1 mile run, which again, think of that like a 10 to 15 minute cardio run, walk, whatever you need to do to get that in. And we're gonna do back, traps, biceps, and forearms. Your back muscles, which would be like bent over rows, lat pull downs, chin ups, things like that. You are gonna do in 10 sets. That you're gonna have 10 total sets on the back. Then when you do your traps, biceps, and forearms, traps, I would say 3 to 5, and that's just where you hold the weights, shoulders up, shoulders down. Don't rotate like this. You see a lot of people rotate when they're working their traps. You don't want to do that, because that can hurt your rotator cuff. You're gonna get shoulder injuries, fuck yourself up. But the trap muscles, where you grab and you just pull up, pull down, pull up, pull down, those muscles are really crucial, because especially when you do jujitsu, or you want to pick someone up, or you want to pick them up and force them down, those neck muscles are extremely important, and you need to strengthen them. So the rotation of the shoulders and all that kind of stuff, you can do that later on down the road when you've built up enough strength. But in the beginning, just hold the weight straight up, straight down. It's a good exercise to build the neck strength in the upper shoulders for martial arts. Biceps, I think everyone knows what the biceps are. 5 sets of biceps, whether it's a preacher curl, barbell curl, dumbbell curl, etc., etc. Forearms, you want to make sure that you're working your forearm flexors and your forearm extensors. A lot of times what people will do is they'll take a bar and they'll put a rope on it, and they'll tie a rope to like a 5-pound plate, and they'll roll it up and then roll it down. That way you're working your forearm extensors and flexors. But again, grip strength is a massive necessity when you're doing martial arts, so you can control your opponent. You can counter grab, it's like sakame uke, the grabbing block. Working on your jujitsu, your grappling skills, your chokes. Grip strength is one of those things that you really need to strengthen specifically for martial artists. So even though like on day 1 we're doing chest, shoulders, triceps, okay, but day 2 you can have back. Then you got traps, which is the traps are really good for helping you with lifting people or lifting things. And then you got the biceps, and you have forearms, and forearms are great for control, not just jujitsu and arm, chokes and all that, but also holding weapons and being able to control a weapon. So you want to have good forearm and hand strength as well. So on day 2, back is going to be 10 sets, traps, biceps, and forearms. You've got 5 sets each. Then you're going to work your waza. So in most martial arts schools, koryu, I teach koryu, so I am speaking from that perspective. So if you're going to be koryu, then you would be doing waza, kata or waza. Kata are like forms, and waza are individual skills. So now, day 2, now you're gonna work on those individual skills. Punching, kicking, whatever that is, the individual thing, footwork drills, any of the waza that you're gonna have, tai sabaki waza, temi waza, giri waza, la la la. Those are the things you're gonna be working on for day 2. We're not just splitting up the fitness, we're also splitting up the martial art training, so every day is something different. It gives you something else to kind of focus on, right? Day 3, we're gonna be working on the kihon. So kihon for every martial arts school is different. But you guys, I want you to think of it as just like shadow boxing. You're going in there, you're going to work all your moves in the air, all your kata, all your waza. You're going to have 15, 20 minutes. You start with not a 1 mile run. You're not starting with that. On day 3, you're going to start with kihon. And you're going to go in there, you're working on punches and kicking. You're going to do shadow boxing. You're going to do all your combinations in the air. You're also going to do bag work, whether it's with a heavy bag or a speed bag or a double end bag, or maybe, one of those cobra bags. You're gonna be working all those drills, and you're gonna try to work on the functional skills that it takes to be able to do that. And that's when you're gonna start day 3. And once you get done with that, day 3 is the day that I also think you should be working on your weapons training. So you do your kihon, your shadow boxing, your bag work, all that kind of stuff. And I think you should just get in, like, you should think to yourself, I'm gonna go, you know, 10 minutes of kihon / shadow boxing, and then 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes on the bags. And then once you get in 15, 20 minutes on the bags doing various different combinations, you know, and I think every one of your combinations you should focus on, you should go 10 switch 10. So if you're gonna do like Kazami Gyaku or jab cross, do it 10 times, a boom boom, and then back in here, and then boom boom, and then back out, and then boom boom, and really get the repetition to develop the skill set to be good, right? But you do that, and then once you get done with that, at that point, that's where I think that you should be working on weapons training. So day 3, that's where I think you guys should be working on bows. You could pick the weapons, you should change it up, never do the same thing, but you always, the guidelines or the basic blueprint should be the same, but what you do, you should be changing it up. That way there's a constant, it keeps it fresh, keeps it fun. So whether you're working on Bujutsu or stick fighting, you know, Iaijutsu, Kenjutsu, swordsmanship, Tanto Jutsu, knife fighting, if you're gonna be doing like conceal carry, practice drawing the knife, practice different ways of pulling the knife, different tactics and footwork drills so you can get to your knife or your edged weapon to use it from a self-defense perspective. Also, if you're carrying a firearm for self-defense, here we live in Kansas, so we're a constitutional carry. Everybody around here carries a firearm. So again, Wednesday is the day that I think you should be practicing that. If your gun does have the capabilities of dry fire skills, where you can dry fire the weapon, some do, some don't. Well, I can do that in a different video if you guys want. But I can go through the drills that, you know, I do as well. But you should be practicing with your firearm, how to get to it, how to pull it, you know, and all those kind of things that you can do to help increase your skill if you had to use the damn weapon, you know. Maybe Wednesday you take a day where you go to the range, maybe not. You know, there's so many things that you can do besides going to the range and spending money on ammo. There's a whole lot of skill sets that you need to be good at other than just shooting the damn thing. So there's lots of things in that dry fire conditioning that you need to do, or excuse me, dry conditioning that you can do by repetition to help you with firearms. So that's what I think day 3 should be. You should start out with kihon, working on the basic fundamental skills. Then you should work into shadow boxing. Then you should do bag work. Once you get done with that, you should choose a weapon that you're going to be working on from a traditional perspective. If you're doing ninjutsu or bujutsu, you should be working on traditional kobojutsu, and then you should also be working on conceal carry, you know, pulling your edged weapon and pulling your firearms if you are carrying them. Day 4, I think that's where we really want to work on the cardio and the legs. So when you do legs, there's never a time you do leg day where you shouldn't be doing squats. So we always talk about how you want to do 10 sets on the main groups, and then you're going to be doing, like, you know, secondary. We'll be doing like 5 sets. On leg day, it's kind of a hit and miss on that one. I think squats are great. You can change it up. You can do narrow squats, wide squats, but just squats. You can't beat that. And I'm not saying you gotta go to do 10 sets of squats on every fucking leg day, but that'd be a good fucking leg day. But you got squats, you got quads, hamstrings, and calves. I think if you have access to a leg extension, a leg curl, calf machine, things like that, I think those are great. You can add that in there, and you could use those for 5 sets on the quads, hams, and, you know, calves and things like that. But from a functional perspective, I definitely think you should be doing like 5 to 7 sets on squats. I think you should be doing 2 to 3 sets on lunges. If you have a leg press, that's be another thing that you can do. Wall sits are a great way to increase the strength and endurance of your legs by holding it for, like, you know, 1 minute at a time. So you'll do a wall sit for 1 minute and then kind of shake your legs out and then do it again for another set. So even if you're doing isometrics, you can do something like that, and that always increases strength and endurance in the martial art and the muscles as well, which will help you in the martial arts. So when you're dealing with legs, think of it in that sense. You're going to be working multiple muscles at one time, but squats are king. That is it. Squats are king. And you can do squats where you put the bar on the shoulder. That's the way I prefer them. You can also do, like, maybe do 5 sets with the bar on the shoulder. Then you could do dumbbell squats. You can also do the wall sit. You can do lunges where you step forward and then lunge back, or you can just do stationary lunges. Or you can do jump lunges. You plyometric jumps where you're jumping up on boxes. Lots of things you can do to condition the legs. That's going to help your power, speed, quickness in the martial arts. Day 5, you're going to be working on cardio, abs, and flexibility, meditation skills. So on day 5, up until point, you know, I've been saying do 10-15 minute, do a 1 mile run, do 10 or 15 minutes cardio, and then do the exercise. Wednesday was a little bit more cardio because you're doing kihon, you got bag work, you got shadow boxing, all that kind of going on. But on Friday, I think that's the day where you're like, we're doing cardio. And that's where I think you should just kind of go for a trip where it's walking out in nature, getting out in nature and going for a walk, going for like maybe you run 10 minutes, walk 10 minutes, run 10 minutes, walk 10 minutes, and you do that for like 30 minutes. You're getting 30 minutes of cardio on day 5, like literally 30 minutes. Get a cardio burn going, work on your abdominal training, whether it's sit-ups, crunches, bicycles, core conditionings, any type of core stuff, trunk twists, abdominal, intercostal training. Those are the things that you want to do to increase the core conditioning, what's going to give you more power with your punches and your movements within the martial arts, especially if you're training in taijutsu. So that's going to be like day 5. And again, 6, 7, you should have 2 days off to spend with the family. Now, like I said, this is a kind of a long video. I'm kind of basically going over a whole lot of here, but things that I kind of want to go over because a lot of people say certain things and they ask questions. So number 1, they say, well, with nutrition, let's talk about nutrition. They say, well, with nutrition, how much protein do I want to eat? Because I know that protein does help in building muscle. Absolutely true. So when you guys are training in the martial arts and you want to look at the amount of protein that you're intaking, the general rule of thumb, you want 1 gram of protein for every pound you want to be. So let's say that you want to be 200 pounds. So you should get 200 grams of protein in. Now I'm giving you this as a form of an athletic nutritional base. A lot of people in the health and fitness world would say, no, it's too much protein. You don't need that much protein, blah, 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 blah. But one thing I do want to say is before I started the Budo, by trade, I owned a health club. I was a personal trainer. I competed at a high level in athletics and various sports. So I was a nutritionist. I was a personal trainer. I used to coach bodybuilding. And I have found that when you increase lean protein, it stabilizes a lot of things in the body. Your blood sugar levels are stabilized. It keeps you not as hungry. You don't want to eat as much. So protein is key, because if you can really control the protein you got going in, it's going to not want you to eat so much, but when you're eating a bunch of fat, high sugar, empty calories, you're constantly hungry and you constantly keep putting in the bullshit, okay? So from a functional perspective, you should just kind of look at how much protein you're getting in that day and then kind of judge it from there. If you're a little short, a protein supplement is always good to do. Don't mix that shit with water, it's nasty. You want to mix it with milk. But, like I said, protein, general rule of thumb is 1 gram of protein for every pound you're wanting to be. So if that means you want to gain muscle, then you want to increase your muscle. You want to increase the protein to the weight that you want to be. If you want to lose weight, then you want to eat the amount of protein to the weight that you want to be. Okay? If you're happy with the weight that you are, but you just want to lean out and get really kind of like that ripped look, then you want to make sure that you're eating the amount of protein for the pounds that you weigh now. You guys catch me on that one? That's how that works, okay? These workouts should happen inside an hour. So whenever you get there, you need to haul ass and get it done in that hour. If you can't get this done in an hour, then you're wasting your damn time, you're going too slow, and you need to increase the intensity, okay? That's an absolute fact. Every workout that I told you guys to do, you should be able to get in and get out in less than an hour. If you just do what you need to do, get it done. If you guys, I will make videos on how you can lose weight or control your weight a little bit better, and things like that, or how you can increase muscle mass, or how you can get lean, things that you can eat and do supplement wise to help all 3 of those things. But one thing I think is important, and again, I'm talking about, this video isn't for bodybuilders or strength competitors or, high-end athletes. This is for the martial artist who's dedicated to martial arts. They're not bodybuilders. They want to make their martial arts skills better, right? And obviously I'm talking about 5 days on and then 2 days spent with your family. You can have those 2 days to just, have it with your kids, your wife, husband, partner, whatever, and spend that time with your family. We're talking about that individual. I'm painting a picture for that. So in that regard, the days that you're training, you need to have a dedication and a discipline about yourself to not put in empty calories on the days that you're training. So if you're training Monday through Friday, that empty calories would be things that are like processed sugar, white bread, white rice, white pasta, make sure you go with the whole grains. If you're, don't eat anything that, don't eat candy bars or cookies or cakes or brownies or any of that shit. None of those empty calorie crap things. On the days that you're training. Now, the days that you're not training, spend it with your family. Live life. It's perfectly fine. Again, you're just trying to increase your skill in the martial arts, be healthy, get strong and things like that. There's nothing wrong with eating or, kind of indulging a little bit on the weekends, especially if you're not a bodybuilder, you're not a professional athlete. Those aren't the things that you're shooting for. And even if you're trying to lose a little bit of weight, that kind of thing, again, everything happens over time. And when you look at, I'm going to be dedicated to my nutrition and workout 5 days, and then I'm off 2, over time, 5 days on, 2 days off, you're going to see a huge difference in the long term. Now, of course, 7 days on, 7 days down, 7 days on, you're going to get a quicker result. But again, it's all based on the individual, and I don't know that everyone needs to do that. Okay? So again, we're looking at a 5-day split. The 2 days that you're off, don't worry about the calories. Don't worry about what you're eating. If it's a birthday you're going to, then have birthday cake and ice cream. Don't worry about that shit. But the days that you're training, no empty calories. Make sure you're going to be disciplined to do it on the days that you're working, not the days that you get off. That's the problem. Most people want to do it on the days that they're off, and then they skip and they fuck it up. So don't do it on your off days. Get yourself out of bed and get it done. Focus on yourself and do the things you need to do to provide success and growth in your skill of martial arts. So this has been a hell of a long video. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. Real quick, if you guys are interested in authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu, check out my website at www.budo-ninjutsu.com. There you can see, what we do, the traditions that we teach, a list of schools, etc., etc. If you do not live next to one of our schools, we do offer the online Ninjutsu dojo, and there you can train with me. We'll take you through the program, and you can study martial arts that way, and you'll get more of these kind of workout tips and all this kind of stuff as you're going through the program. So if you guys are interested in training, check out the website. If you don't live next to the dojo, like I said, online Ninjutsu dojo, I'll be more than happy to help train you in classical Japanese martial arts. So thank you guys very much for your love and support. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.